All right, what's good? What's good, man? Let's get into it. Let's talk about a little topic that I wanted to talk about. I think last year, but last year news started picking up, so I was this at least the thumbnail that you guys are gonna see. That thumbnail's been in my laptop for over a year. I made a video at the time. It was around the Nuggets versus the Miami Heat series in the finals. Like giving a little topic about it, but it is what it is. I'm able to make the video now, and I'm gonna make it more timeless instead of me posting it for this time. But I want to talk about why parody is bad for sports. Now, every sports fan, I think casual fans, I'm gonna keep it real. I think more casual fans sit here and say they like parody, but I disagree with that. I think parody is beyond bad for sports. And as you see on my screen, we have Michael Jordan on the screen. People glorify or talk about the 90s basketball. They talk about Michael Jordan. They hold Michael Jordan on his pedestal. You know what I'm saying? And talk about how the 90s are good, this, that, and third. We have a whole debate about whether the 90s are good and bad. But that's off the simple fact that parody was not a thing back in the 90s. It was literally Jordan and everybody else versus Jordan. And that was good for the NBA. Go look at the ratings for the NBA. Literally, go look at the ratings for the NBA. Back when Jordan was running the league. You know what I'm saying? It was a good thing. Let's move on to another guy, LeBron James. LeBron James back in the 2010s, whether it was with Miami, with Cleveland, and I guess you could count the Lakers since they won in 2020. He's been to 9 straight finals, 10 straight finals, and people were not bored of it. I don't know if you guys know this, but during the NBA finals, as I'm recording this video, the NBA finals I'm referring to is the Boston Celtics versus the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks and Boston Celtics series had season high lows in NBA finals history. No, but you know what? The last time the NBA peaked in NBA finals was the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Golden State Warriors. And it's funny to think about that because back then people were saying, oh, we're sick and tired of seeing LeBron. We're sick and tired of seeing Curry and KD. No, you weren't. There was no parity. It was Warriors versus Cavs. And that's the last time people cared about it. Granted, even back then, people were saying the ratings were falling down, but the ratings now are beyond horrible. Beyond horrible. And now, in retrospect, people miss the Cleveland Cavaliers versus LeBron James. The Cleveland Cavaliers with LeBron James and the Golden State Warriors with KD and Curry. Because parity is bad for sports. People want to see the bad guy. They want to see the hero in a LeBron or a Jordan, or they want to see a villain in the LeBron and Jordan. Going up against the underdog team, even though LeBron was the underdog team against the Warriors. But going back to my point, they want to see the hero in that. Or maybe they like to see the Golden State Warriors be the bad guys or, to root against or be the good guys against LeBron. You never know. To each its own, you know what I'm saying? Let's look at it in football. Tom Brady in the 2000s. People glorified the 2000s and 2010s, mainly because it was more physical back then. People actually played football, you know what I'm saying? That's number one. And number two is that people sit here and they say they miss Brady or, Brady's the GOAT, whatever the case may be, is because he didn't bring parity. It was the Patriots versus everybody else. That's why Eli Manning and the Giants get glorified so much for beating them 2 times in the Super Bowl, and Nick Foles gets glorified for beating them in the Super Bowl too. You know what I'm saying? And we're seeing it in real life with Patrick Mahomes. There's a lot of people out there who like the Chiefs, who like Mahomes. I like Mahomes. He's one of my favorite players in the league. And there's a lot of people who hate the Chiefs and want the Chiefs to lose. You know what I'm saying? They root for the Niners. They root for the Eagles. They root for the Bengals. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, going back to it, I just don't think parity is good for all sports. I just don't think it's good for all sports. And let's really talk about it. Like, it is crazy. It's beyond crazy how people can sit here and say they miss the Warriors and Cavs. When I remember in real time, people hated that. I saw a thing. I don't think the ratings were bad for it, but I remember people said the Golden State Warriors didn't sell out their whole arena, which could be false. I don't know. Nor do I really care, but it's be like that's probably like besides maybe Toronto versus the Warriors, and that's only because they had Curry and KD before KD got injured. Has anybody really okay? I can't even say the Lakers finals because no one counts the bubble. No one cared about the Lakers in the Lakers in Miami. No one cared about Phoenix and Memphis. I'm not Memphis. Milwaukee. No one cared about Boston. Well, people somewhat cared about Boston and Golden State because Curry was in there, but no one talks about it like that. No one talks about the Nuggets versus Miami, and no one's really talking about Dallas versus Boston because parity is bad. There's no substantial guy anymore. You know what I'm saying? Which I don't mind. I'm gonna watch either way. I have no problem with them. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, as for a casual or for the viewership or for the health of the leagues, whether it's football or basketball, it's a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? And I wish sports fans, casual fans will come out and say that because majority fans say, I want parity. I like the what do they say? I'm trying to paraphrase what they say. They sit here and say, oh, I like the mystery of it. I like the parody because anybody can win. No, you don't. If that's the case, then why were the 90s so popular for Jordan? Why was the 2010s and 2000s so popular when Brady and Belichick were running stuff? Why is this? The NFL still has good ratings because they found their next Brady, aka Mahomes. Why are people in retrospect missing Golden State versus the Cleveland Cavaliers? Because people don't want parody. Period. End of story. But that's my thoughts. What are yours? What's your thoughts on my take? And do you agree with me? Do you like parody? Do you think casual fans sit here and glorify parody for no reason? RJ out.